Hello. Today I'm going to explain two different versions to get into headstand and how to start practicing headstand in the middle of the room away from the wall. The first one is Shirshasana A, headstand variation A, which is fingers interlaced, elbows on the floor. Some people like to keep their hands together and place their head behind their wrist. And some people like to keep their hands open and place their head between their hands. This will be a matter of preference for you. Also, when you think of where your head is placed on the floor, everybody's head is shaped differently. So you will have to kind of play around tilting your head forward and back to find the sweet spot for you. For me, it's closer to my hairline and my forehead meeting. But I've met people that it's completely right at the top of the head. So it will vary. So don't think that you have to look exactly like somebody else here. You'll start from a seated position with your legs folded underneath you, sitting on your heels. Fingers interlace and your elbows are pointing down in this version. When you come forward, you'll come forward onto your knees, your elbows will come to the floor, and the elbows will be pointing back, not out to the sides. So something to look at here is that you don't let your elbows point to the sides. They're pointing back toward your knees. You'll place your head on the floor, finding your sweet spot, and then you can tuck your toes and lift your hips. This might be it for you today. If you're comfortable here, you can begin to walk your feet in so that the weight starts to transfer more into the head, more into the forearms. You're pressing your forearms into the floor. You can walk your feet in even further, and you can work on the weight transfer by lifting the heels to let the weight come forward even more and getting your hips stacked higher over your shoulders. Once you've found the position that you're comfortable, you can bring one knee in toward your chest, pointing the toes, making sure that your knee does not go up toward the ceiling. You're trying to keep a tight position with the core. If you're comfortable, then you'll lift your other knee toward your chest. You'll come down the way that you went into it and come back to your heels. The second way that you can go into your headstand is using the tripod method. Some teachers don't consider this a proper headstand because it's a transitional headstand, and you can go into this from a separate leg forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana, or other poses that you're working on. From crow, you can go into tripod headstand and try different things. But some people feel more comfortable going into it from a tripod. So I'll teach you how to do that. You're still creating a triangle base. This time it's just the hands and your head instead of the forearms and the head. So your hands will come to the floor and you'll come forward like tabletop to create a 90-degree angle or something close to it when you are on your hands. So you'll bring your head forward to create that triangle shape, and then you'll find the sweet spot for you. From there, you'll follow the same thing you did before. You'll tuck your toes and lift your hips. If you're comfortable, you begin to walk the feet in closer and lift the heels up higher so that there's more weight on the head and on the hands. You're pressing into your hands. They're active here. If you're comfortable here, you'll start to bring your knee toward your tricep. This is why some people feel more comfortable, because they have a place to rest their knee as opposed to bringing their knee in toward their chest in the previous version. If you're comfortable here, you can then start to lift your other foot and place your other knee on your other tricep and maintain this position, building strength. You can come out the same way you went in, one foot down, then the other, walking them back, knees down, and then sitting onto your heels. Good luck. Practice hard. And if you feel like you're falling out of the pose, you'll tuck your chin and you'll roll on your mat. I always recommend starting at the back of your mat. That way, if you do fall out of headstand into that roll, your feet will land on your mat and so will your body. Especially if you're in a class with other people, if you're at the top of your mat, you might roll over onto somebody else's mat. So always use your space